Hey folks, welcome back. David Explorer here. Hope everybody's doing alright. Today we're gonna be talking about rights. Yeah, sometimes people talk about human rights, sometimes people talk about animal rights. I'm gonna try to be a little bit general. Of course, I'm human, so I might be a little bit more skewed towards human rights, but I'm going to also consider animal rights as well. And yeah, because it is something that people consider, and I think it would only be fair if I include it. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. It might be a little bit loud today. I just realized that I forgot. I just realized that I forgot to bring my wireless mic. It would have been a little bit more quiet. It's a little bit windy. I can just feel it. I can't hear it, but I can feel it, and I know it's going to affect the sound quality. So, yeah, let me apologize. Yeah, I noticed that it was getting a little dark. I noticed that it was getting a little dark, and so I tried to rush outside quick so that I could record while there was still light. This morning I brought my camera all prepared. I went walking this morning, right? I brought my camera all prepared to like to record this video, but when I started recording, I realized that I had no SD card inside the camera, so there was no way I was going to record anything. So I mean, there was a long delay today. Um, I rested, I got some good rest, and as I saw that it's like, as I noticed that it was getting dark, well, not quite dark, but as the sun is starting to set, I've decided, yes, let's do this walk. I want to do this. I want to post it and share some information with you guys. So yeah, my topic today is about rights. I know rights, the topics of rights, I should say, it, it can be long and complicated. I probably will have to do more than one video on this because, I mean, there's a lot to see. There's a lot to include. I probably won't cover everything. There are some of them that I probably won't cover completely, and I mean, you are free to comment and add your piece if you think I missed anything, because I don't know everything, and not even the people who write huge tomes and huge volumes know everything. There are some things that they miss sometimes, and yeah, any one of us just having a little bit of experience might be able to point out something that they missed. So, yeah, we all have certain level of intelligence and understanding, and yeah, it's possible to actually catch something that people who are well acclaimed for their intelligence may miss. So, yeah, my topic today is about rights. So, what are rights? I didn't well research this, but I think I can give you a kind of a high level definition of what rights are. I think they're things that people are entitled to by virtue of them being human beings. So you could say these are entitlements that people have based on the fact that they're human. If we think about animal rights, like animals are not human, and people will tell you that animals have rights too, and I don't disagree. So if we go a little bit more general than just human rights, we can see that based on the fact that a creature, and I say creature, I mean, this might seem like a religious term to people. I mean, there may be a different, you might have a different way of saying it or referring to it and stuff. And if you can think of it, feel free. I, some, I mean, it might take a long time to actually decide what the best term is. So I will just try to be quick and say a creature. So it's a creature with a certain level of an. Oof. Why is it that I missed the word? I had the word right at the tip of my tongue. Yeah, with a creature with a certain level of sentience, like a certain level of understanding, a certain level of intelligence. So, yeah, entitlement based on sentience. So, if we go in general, we can say this is what a right is. And I suppose we could be funny and go even more general. When people are talking about AI nowadays, I suspect at some point they may just it may be an entity as opposed to something that's alive. Who knows? So many things have changed in the past 50 years. You would not believe it. If you were to go back, things would be so different. So we could talk about like any entity with a certain level of sentience. Those rights, I guess, when you talk about rights, you're referring to what those are entitled to. So, yeah. But for now, let's stick to living things, living creatures. Could be. It's funny, right? Because you wouldn't think of plants, and I'm looking at trees right now. You would not want to consider the rights of trees, but believe it or not, if there were no trees, we would not be here. So the existence of trees might actually affect our rights. So, yes, what right should I start with? Let's talk about the right to life. I mean, that's what many people talk about. That's at the tip of everybody's tongue many times. It comes up so often you wouldn't believe it. So, yeah, let's start with the right to life. Yeah, when you talk about the right to life, sometimes people take a very superficial view of things, and that superficial view is, I wouldn't say it's not valid, it is very valid. It is something that you can consider true at first glance without even thinking about it. That's why I call it superficial, because it is so obvious that you barely have to think about it. So, I mean, one, you can't simply just strike a person down and stuff. That would be infringing on their rights. So, that would certainly be covered under the right to life when you think about it. But sometimes we focus so much on the superficial view of things that we kind of forget the details. And sometimes people take certain actions and they may not realize that they're actually, by taking those actions, they're actually infringing on your right to life. Actually, you're really affecting the person's life by taking certain actions. So let's think about what I mean. Okay, we have life. For you to stay alive, what do you need? So, yeah, if we're gonna talk about the right to life, we have to talk about what is needed to sustain life. And we see animals, we see people, and some things are obvious, and you may not always think about it. Like, let us talk about food. If you have no food, if you're not able to eat anything, how long do you think you would be able to survive? I mean, estimates are that it's for 2 weeks. It's just This is just from things I've heard from researchers. About 2 weeks without eating, and it might cost someone their life. What else do we need? Would you say water? We all need water. That's a requirement for maintaining and sustaining life. Yeah, we need water, or otherwise we would soon become very unhealthy. And eventually life would cease if there's no water. If, there's no water to drink, clean water, what about air? We breathe. We all need to breathe. So, and we're talking about clean air as well, right? So, if you don't have clean, fresh air, you soon begin to experience health problems that will affect your right to life. Now, I'd like to add shelter, right? Because there are certain places where the weather is so harsh and inhospitable that staying out for very long is going to be extremely stressful on the body and would really be very hazardous to your health and would compromise your life. So, yes, shelter is important in certain places more than others. Sometimes it's in certain places it's easier to stay outside. If the weather is mild, then I mean it's less important. Although we have climate and we have weather, and so changes can dictate whether or not you need shelter. So yeah, shelter is important. I think shelter is an aspect of an entitlement that affects your right to life. What else? I think I've named a few. There may be something that I'm missing. Let's take it a little high, a little further up the level. And let's look at things the way they are in today's world, right? I mean, in today's world, can someone really survive without money? And I think in certain situations they might be able to. I mean, if they already have resources, like for instance, they have land, they have a farm, they can grow their own food, they have their own farm animals, they have quite a bit of resources that they can sustain everything else, everything that they need, and produce everything that they need without any money. I suppose somebody with those resources, they can survive without money. But we all know that not everyone has those resources. Those resources aren't available to everyone, and In order to have it, you would have probably needed to acquire it over a long period of time, or at least somebody in your family background might have needed to do it for you. So, I mean, if you don't have any of those resources, you will need to have money because, one, today food isn't free. I mean, you might say air is free, water might be free in some places. However, depending on where you are, getting clean water is not easy. I mean, you can always wait for the rain, but that may not necessarily be clean. And I mean, if you don't have access to a clean stream, a clean river, you probably will need public utilities like water from a public a public source, and they don't it might be cheap, it might not be very expensive, but think about it, if you have no money, you won't be able to afford any of it, so that would affect your right to life. And I know I'm talking about money, and I mean there will be lots of arguments when it comes to talking about money, because I mean people will say that you need to prepare yourself, you need to work hard when you're young so that you can earn and compete with everyone, and people will see that, hey, you only get what you deserve. But in many societies, like, we know that some people, there are some people who may not be able to, who may have certain problems, and they may not be able to earn, and so there are organizations that help, because I mean, even though certain people won't be able to earn much, they can still contribute to a certain extent. And I mean, in many instances, people still consider those who still can't contribute to have rights. And it, remember, we didn't say rights was something deserved, an entitlement of those who can contribute. We said it was an entitlement of people based on the fact that they're human, right? So if we agree with that, then I mean, even people who are not producing have those rights, and sometimes you can donate and to help those people, because they're human as well. So, and yeah, I think this is all I'm going to say for now on the right to life. I'm sure I may have missed something. I invite you to add your piece. Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, I don't see too many comments. I get a few, but I only get a few viewers as well. So, yeah, I invite you to join, to participate, to view my to watch my videos and share them. I think we have been on the road for a little while. I don't want to be too long. I know that many of you guys have busy lives and you may not be able to watch the entire video, so I think I will save the rest for another one, another walk in a different direction, because I know I've done this before and many of you have probably seen it. So I think I'll save it for later. Excuse me, I'm feeling like I'm going to sneeze. Maybe I might avoid it. I don't know. It's very close. But I think I will cover the topic of rights or the remainder of the topic in another video. I know I am sure that I haven't covered everything under the right to life, and I welcome you to add your opinions. I think I will cut things short. I will finish this video up pretty soon. For those of you who are watching, thank you for participating. Thanks for your support. And yeah, I hope you come back and invite somebody else. So, yeah, all things considered, thanks again. And see you guys again soon. All right, have a good night.